Welcome back to the Realty Funnels podcast. So glad to have you with us. This is the start of season 3, our 3rd season with our podcast, and we've rebranded it from Gross Commission in Real Estate and also Truth in Real Estate. One was facing consumers, one was facing real estate agents, and since so much of our activity was coming from our real estate agent audience, we have shifted our focus to our Realty Funnels software program and all the things that we're doing to help real estate agents earn more money and keep more money, accomplish more in less time. So glad to have you with us. Lisa, let's just talk about some of the big picture concepts behind really how top performing real estate agents are able to accomplish so much more than even the average real estate agent, and so much more than so many of the high-performing real estate agents. And really, I think it comes down to 3 simple things: their mindset, their skill set, and then their behaviors or their actions, what they're actually doing with their time. And when I think about how Realty Funnels is a software system, it's a real supportive setup for real estate agents who are looking to accomplish more in less time. It really comes down to a mindset shift, which is, first off, you need to eliminate anything that you're doing that isn't getting you closer to your goals. Secondly, you need to automate all the things that you are doing repeatedly. So if there's anything that you need to do more than once and you need to do it the same way each time, then that calls for an automation. And I love automations, and I love how Realty Funnels helps our agents build so many automations so that they're able to nurture opportunities with past clients. They're able to convert opportunities with prospects, getting them to become home sellers and home buyers. And then so you eliminate anything that isn't getting you where you need to go. You automate all those things that are wash, rinse, and repeat. And then you delegate anything that you can possibly delegate. You record yourself doing it once. You have a system, a process in place for doing it over and over again. And then you hand that off to somebody who can get that done for you. Now, when you eliminate, automate, and delegate, what are you left with?
Your strength zone.
You got it.
That's where you should be, either doing things you enjoy or being in your strength zone. That's where the real power is in your business.
Now, you spent 23 years, 23 tax seasons as a certified
public accountant.
I'm so sorry, I was about to sneeze.
Yes.
Let me re-record that. You spent 23 tax seasons, 23 years as a certified public accountant. And in your accounting firm, there were different people who did different tasks.
Yes, when you're talking about a CPA firm, we're all efficiency experts. So we had it really dialed in. Depending on who the person was, they had different duties that they would do. So my job was, as a tax manager, I trained the staff, I reviewed tax returns, and I talked with clients. That was the 3 things I did. And then we had staff below me, staff accountants. They worked on tax returns and they sorted through people's information that were brought in. We had bookkeepers that did QuickBooks type bookkeeping, and then they did payroll returns and things like that. And then we had administrative people that wrote our letters, and they processed the tax returns, stapling everything together and doing all the envelopes. And then we had the partners, and they oversaw everything. And that's how we did it. It was very efficient. And when you've got different staff at different levels at different pay grades, it's very important that they stay in their strength zone, because a client is not going to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for a CPA to type addresses on envelopes. It would be silly, and
well, you
nobody
imagine
would want to pay for that.
I know from all of our conversations over the years, people would come in with all their receipts tied up with old pantyhose.
Oh, that was the funniest one.
And they didn't even have rubber bands. They would use up old pantyhose.
People that had gone through the Depression era.
Yes.
They'd bind things together with tops of pantyhose.
So you weren't going through a box of receipts and making sense of that stuff. No. You had people who were charging at a far lower hourly rate. Mm-hmm. They were going through and doing a lot of that work.
Photocopying, scanning. They knew what to look for. They were trained enough to know what to look for, but they didn't have 8 years of college like I did.
And so that helped keep the costs in line for the marketplace so that your customers, your clients at the accounting firm were paying a reasonable amount for a very high quality tax return.
Yes, it was very efficient. And, you know, the firm is there to make money.
So in terms of a sales professional, they can look at this and have a mindset shift as well. When you think about eliminate, automate, delegate, and stay in your strength zone, you're really talking about having a notion of what your hour is worth and outsourcing anything that can be outsourced for less than what it is that you make per hour, because that frees you up to stay in your strength zone where you'll be able to create more opportunities, convert more opportunities into clients, and then service those clients professionally and get a phenomenal return or experience for those people. And that's how you need to think about it if you're going to really take your business from where you are right now to where you really want to be in a sales role.
Exactly. And being a real estate agent or any kind of salesperson, it's a business. You are in business. And so it's your job, if you want to make the most money in the least amount of time, you've got to stay in that strength zone. And that also gets rid of that roller coaster ride. You get your pipeline full and you keep it full.
Yeah, you want that to look more like you're always going uphill, no downward dips.
Yes. And you do that, you build momentum and you keep bringing in business and you keep in touch with people. You have systems and you don't let anything fall through the cracks. And then you have your lead magnets and you're doing your marketing while you're off doing other things.
So often when I'm working with our members in REALTY Funnels, and we have hundreds of agents across the country, some incredibly top performing real estate agents that I get to mastermind with. When we talk about this notion of eliminate, automate, delegate, and stay in your strength zone, we have to do this exercise, which is what is your hour worth? And some very simple math that you can be considering is, let's just say you only worked 40 hours a week. And let's say you worked 50 weeks of the year, that's 2,000 hours. So you take your annual income, whatever it is you earned in the last 12 months, divide it by 2,000 hours. Now you may or may not have worked 2,000 hours. You may have worked more or less, but regardless, just a simple exercise. And you take that divided by 2,000 hours, that gives you a quick sense of it. So for example, if last year you made $100,000, you're earning approximately $50 an hour. Anything that you can have somebody else doing for you, whether it be a teenager in the neighborhood, one of your kids, somebody else in your office who would like to do some additional work for you, if you can pay them less than $50 an hour to take some of that stuff off of your plate, especially things that are not in your strength zone, then that's probably a serious investment that you should really be considering.
You really should.
Now, when you consider that there are VAs who are expert at doing these types of things, and that there are people who know precisely how to do other things that you don't know how to do, that could really free you up enormously. Now, inside of REALTY Funnels, we have our Elite Agent Services program, which is where we have our team of incredibly well-trained professionals who can take a lot of stuff off of your plate for such an affordable, reasonable amount of money, allowing you to stay inside of your strength zone. But this is probably going to be a game-changing notion for a lot of real estate agents when they realize okay, last 12 months I earned $100,000, but this year I'd like to earn $150,000 or $200,000. What you're actually saying is, I was earning $50 an hour. Now I want to go to $75 an hour or $100 an hour. You actually just increased a whole lot of tasks that you could be outsourcing and freeing up your time in order for you to do the lead generation that you need to do, the follow-up conversations that you need to have with people, so that you're actually converting more of those opportunities. Now, for our members who are really hitting it incredibly well, for those people, if they're earning $500,000 a year and they want to get to $750,000 a year, they're earning $250 an hour and wanting to go to $375 an hour, totally doable, completely within reach, even in this market or any market. And yet, all too often, as I'm talking with them, they are sitting around trying to figure out how to do something that my team could do for them at an incredibly affordable rate.
And if they were to do it and try to learn some new tech skill, that's expensive. If you think about the hourly that they're giving up, not being in their strength zone. And plus, we were talking to an agent the other day, and she said, boy, when it comes to tech, I just glaze over.
Oh, so true. And so many of these agents, as soon as I start talking about how to build out an automation, they want an automation built out inside of Realty Funnels. And I tell them how we can build it out for them. They're like, Kevin, I love talking with you, but my eyes just glaze over. I start to want to fall asleep at the mere mention of how you do this thing.
And agents, as soon as you talk about scaling and growth, they're like, I don't have any more time. And why do they not have any more time?
Because they're sitting around doing $10 an hour work.
Because yes. And either they're not doing it, they're trying to get to it, which creates mind clutter. And mind clutter is one of the most destructive forces in a real estate business. Just mind clutter, or things that you know you should get to.
Oh, the shoulding.
Yeah. And
I know I should do this. I know I should do that. I want to. I need to. Stop shoulding all over yourself and just get rid of that weak word, should.
It's a weak word.
When you think about the word should, it's a condemnation of yourself. Everything that you do in your day is a choice. But when you say I should, you're putting yourself in a weak energy position, and you're already condemning yourself for not having accomplished something. Just hand that off to somebody else and stay in your strength zone. And you're actually then going to return to a place of, I choose to do this. I want to do this. I love doing this. I love this energy, or I get lifted up by this, or this makes me feel great, or I really feel like I'm contributing when I'm doing this stuff.
And it just makes your business better.
Well, and it
more
becomes
profitable.
And it becomes a more attractive business. Now, we talk about building a real business, one that is reliable, efficient, attractive, and lucrative. So real business, REAL, one that is reliable, efficient, attractive, and lucrative. So when we talk about attractive, we talk about people being attracted to you and doing business with you, because all of sales is a transference of
energy.
And so when you have a positive energy about what it is you're doing, people pick up on that. They feel reassured. They feel confident in their choice to work with you. And then you are getting more business with less effort, because you're in your strength zone. You have confidence. You know what you're doing. You're perhaps already at a level of mastery in those areas.
And you feel confident that you've got the other tasks that you know you need handled. Kevin's got a great story about when he first started in the real estate business, about your cell phone.
This is so funny.
Because it's the same thing into a new era.
Now, bear in mind that I started way back in the day, 1999, when the MLS would get delivered every 2 weeks as a bound printed book. It looked like the phone book, like the Yellow Pages. And at that time, real estate agents, many didn't have email. They didn't have an email address because they didn't use email. And many of them did not ever give out their phone number because back then, youngsters are not going to understand this, but you used to get charged by the minute. And you'd have to buy a plan, and it was either 100 minutes a month or 250 or 500 or 1,000. And an unlimited plan was almost unheard of. But as soon as I could get an unlimited plan, I absolutely got an unlimited plan. But even when I was paying by the minute, I only had one phone number on my business card, and it was my cell phone. I had one phone number on my lawn sign, and it was my cell phone. People in my office thought I was crazy. Here's this 27-year-old kid thinking he's going to figure this all out. We know what we're doing. He's just going to.
And they were top level agents in the office.
Top agents. I mean, I worked in a company of 1,100 agents, and after 1 year, I was number 52 in the company. And I attribute that to doing something different, which was making it super easy to reach me. You just pick up the phone and call my cell phone number, and I was going to answer it. And oh, by the way, I answered my phone, and I still answer my phone as often as I can, as opposed to these agents who just by default let it go to voicemail.
It was embracing the new technology.
When you had that ability back then that you could actually answer a phone immediately and talk to a prospect, who wouldn't want to do that? Many real estate agents didn't want to do that. They were like, I'm not going to let them burn through my minutes. No, it changed everything. I was number 52 in the office after 1 year, 52 in the company after 1 year. I was like number 4 in the office. And then the following year, I was number 26 in the company out of 1,100 agents. Okay. And I was like number 2 or 3 in my small office of about 36 agents. And then I realized, you know what? I need to get into a bigger pool. I need to surround myself with better people, more productive people. When you very quickly rise to the very top of your group, you realize, okay, time for me to upgrade my group. Time for me to get into better masterminds. Time for me to surround myself with more impressive coaches who could take me from where I was au naturel to a different level that I'd never been to before. And that's the real power of going into coaching, always jumping into training programs. There was never a coaching program that I didn't really want to understand and look into. I couldn't afford all of them, but I definitely got a coach very early on. And I think that that's really important for a lot of agents. They feel like, oh, my broker is my coach. Well, no, your broker is somebody who's making certain that you're not breaking the law. And your broker is somebody who's making certain that you get paid appropriately. But your broker may or may not necessarily have their boots on the ground experience to take you from where you are right now to where you really want to be.
So the tech then was cell phone tech and email tech and computer tech.
Websites were totally cutting edge.
At the very beginning. But now here we are in current times.
Yes.
And agents know that they need the technology.
Well, lead magnets, funnels, automations, follow-up systems.
They know they need
to have this stuff, because if they don't, they will be surpassed by the agents who do.
There was a story that we heard, and it was quite shocking to us, but it totally makes sense. We were someone was telling us about an agent that had farmed an area, pretty good size area, for 20 years. He was the #1 agent in that area. Some newer agent came along with all the technology, the lead magnets and the follow-up systems, all the tech that you could do, all the various tech. And within 6 months, that new agent was the #1 agent in that farm area. The person that did not have the technology,
he fell away,
lost their whole business.
Really. I mean, that agent had been,
and it was like, really, that can happen? Yeah, it happened. It's happening all the time.
Well, when you think about that agent had been at it for 20 years.
20 years.
And never really changed his methods or his systems. No. Now, I would grant that he was probably a very knowledgeable, skillful, experienced agent. I would probably be very comfortable working with him. But that's not the real measure anymore. Now the measure is who is out there getting the need conversations with the home sellers in your neighborhood.
And who is appearing that they are up to date on the technology.
Who is the most visible agent in your market?
Because, you know, home buyers and sellers, they want to know who's visible, because in turn, you've got to make their home visible when they're ready to sell. You've got to know what's going on when they're trying to buy. And it's just a natural gravitation toward that person that has the tech. That's where people start now.
Well, and this is going to really create an enormous change in your business when you start to adopt these notions, eliminate anything that you just shouldn't be doing anymore, and then automate anything that you do with robotic precision more than once in your career, and then delegate as much of the remaining work as you possibly can, record how you do it, create a process and a system around fulfillment on that, and then delegate that out to somebody else who can handle that stuff for you, and then stay in your strength zone. Now, inside of Realty Funnels, of course, we've got this powerful software. And if you haven't already explored, we'd welcome you to visit realtyfunnels.com to learn more. It's one of the most affordable, most powerful software systems for real estate agents. And it's really the ultimate platform for real estate agents. But the notion behind all that is that we want to help you have a three-pronged benefit. Lisa, talk about the three-pronged benefit.
So 3 things happen when you use Realty Funnels. You stay in your strength zone, which means that you are happier, you're achieving more, you're doing more business, you're making more money.
You're doing what only you can do.
Right.
When you're in your strength zone.
You make more money in less time. Then also your systems that you have set up, that brings in more business for you while you're doing other things, because the most important thing to be doing is bringing in business and servicing the business that you have.
Most real estate agents have a leaky bucket. They do not actually have a funnel that is dripping all of the prospective clients into their business. They've got a sieve or a leaky bucket where deals and opportunities and income are just flying out of the holes sideways in that leaky bucket. When you systematize your nurture campaigns, your automations, your follow-up, you are closing up holes in that leaky bucket and creating an actual funnel that brings more people all the way down through to a closed transaction and money in your bank account.
Yes, and then nobody forgets about you, because they say, you know, it takes so much more energy to gain new business, which we all want to gain new business. But once you already have customers, don't let them forget about you.
We call that the orphaned client syndrome.
Yeah.
And there are so many home buyers who can't remember who the real estate agent was who helped them buy that home. Now they own that home. And a few years go by, they're ready to make another move. They can't remember the name of the real estate agent who helped them buy it, but they're going to call upon either the real estate agent who had the listing, who is smart enough to continue to drip to that person, the orphan buyer, or they're going to call upon whoever has the most lawn signs in the area. The most visibility will win the day. Now, the most visibility with somebody who bought one of your listings, it's super easy to maintain that visibility. You already know who they are. You know when they bought it. You know what the condition of the home was. You just go back out there and list that home again, and you've got more business than most any other agent, because you're systematizing your nurture, automation, your follow-up, and your conversion processes.
And then the third of the benefit is getting rid of the mind clutter. There'll be no mind clutter. It's gone. And then your mind is more available to notice more opportunities.
When you think about
it's a huge thing.
So many real estate agents are so focused on the one task that is screaming at them the loudest at that moment. And it might be a very important thing. It might be a very productive thing that they focus their energy on. But the moment that they get an email ping or a text message ping on their phone, or their phone rings and it's an actual customer with an actual question, they are onto a new thing, and whatever important work they were working on now is sitting on hold until they get back to it, and they might not get back to it until that person who called, texted, or emailed is now viewing homes, looking at homes, under contract on a home, doing a home inspection, getting the financing approved, and now they're closed. And now let me get back to that project I was working on 5.5 weeks ago.
Right. So imagine having a system and having your business running where you don't have to do any cold calling or door knocking. Your ideal clients are seeking you out.
We like to say it this way. We don't chase our ideal clients. Our ideal clients chase us down. And how is that? By having systems in place so that we can get our ideal clients to be aware of who we are, request information from us, raise their hand, shoot us an email, give us a phone call,
contact us,
get in front of us first so that we win that business. When you have these systems in place, you've got the three-pronged benefit. You're staying in your strength zone. You're doing more business because it's all systematized, and you're leaving your mind open because you've eliminated the mind clutter of the stuff that you shouldn't be spending your time and energy focusing on because it's below your pay grade, and you are leaving your mind open to more opportunities and more possibilities in your future. I hope this has been helpful for you today. We're glad to have you with us here on the Realty Funnels podcast. We invite you to visit realtyfunnels.com to learn more. You can visit realtyfunnels.com/elite to learn more about our elite agent services, where we help top performing real estate agents take more stuff off of their plate so they have less mind clutter and are able to achieve at a higher level, earning more money in less time. Thank you so much for being with us. Stick around for some of our upcoming episodes where we will be talking more about mindset. We've got an awesome episode coming up soon about branding. We've got notions about how you create a six-figure month in our upcoming episodes. Six-figure months, that's $100,000 in a 30-day period. That's $1.2 million a year of income by staying in your strength zone and getting rid of mind clutter and distraction and tasks that are below your pay grade. Thank you so much for being with us today. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
Goodbye for now.